Was that Mama Afton?
You're watching Corvid's Junkyard, posting what we want, when we want. This ain't your mama's YouTube channel.
I'm waking up.
Oh yeah, spoilers by the way, but if you're here, I think we all already know that. Just when I thought there was nothing more to learn about the Afton family, just when I thought I had searched every closet and every box, just when I was ready to say we knew it all, I sit myself down to watch the best movie of all time and I see this. That there is the Afton family. I mean, obviously, it's presumably in Vanessa's childhood home. But here's the interesting thing. This is the first time we have ever seen Mrs. Afton. Okay, I know. Ballora. I am a Ballora Afton theory liker, but that isn't Mrs. Afton. This is her. And then we proceed with the fun with flesh trap scene down a hallway covered in family photos. Whether or not these pictures are real or just figments of Vanessa's imagination, they tell us something. And also, it's probably both. But that is even better. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to look through almost every single picture in the hallway. The reason I say almost is because I got all of these screenshots from Baz's behind the scenes vlog, which I will link in the description below. All right, the overture is over. Prepare for, in no particular order, the Afton family photo album. Let's start with the picture that started it all. This is at the bottom of the stairs in the Afton house, which is why I'm using a screenshot from a very, very legal source. It is the first and only picture in the house that the filmmakers let us, the audience, focus on. They want us to look at it. They want us to understand that this is the Afton family. The first thing, well, as we as fans suspected it, we had no confirmation until now that there was another Afton child in the family. And if someone is watching this with no previous knowledge of FNAF, that would have been a really cool sight. This photo is fairly formal. It looks like it was shot maybe at like a J.C. Penney's based on the blank background and how they're dressed. William and Michael are standing while Mama Afton has her hands on Vanessa, who is turned away. This is why I think that these pictures might be a bit more imaginative. It could be that this is a real part of the day they took the picture, and that this is what was happening in that moment, and that's what Vanessa's remembering. William and Michael are identical. They stand in the exact same in their little suits, perfectly still and perfect. Mama and Vanessa, however, are on the move. I wish that we had seen this picture in the vlog, because I want to have my cake and I want to eat it. Maybe I'll update this when the movie is out on streaming.
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free.
But for now, I will just speculate. It's hard to tell if Mama Afton is pushing or pulling on Vanessa. Vanessa looks like she's about in mid-step, which is really, really annoying because a push or a pull is a huge difference. If she is pushing her, is Mama A trying to tell Vanessa to flee? Does she see through William and is hoping to save at least one of her children? Look at Michael. He is drinking up that Fazbear Kool-Aid. He is his father's son. But Vanessa, she can still leave. And as we know, she does. Is this because of the distance her mother put between Vanessa and William? And if she's pulling Vanessa, does that mean that she is under Willie's spell? It's entirely possible. We know that Henry was. Everyone was. And it makes me wonder at what point Vanessa woke up to her father's purple dye-ness. In the opening scene, we see Vanessa trying to stop Charlie from following the yellow rabbit with a desperation that tells us that she knew what was happening. To some extent. It's up for debate with both movie Vanessa and game Michael how much they knew and understood William, as well as why they stuck around for as long as they did. It was likely fear. We know that Vanessa is afraid of William killing her. And it could go the same for Michael, though I think his is more like a guilt thing, because the fight of '83 was not his fault. So Vanessa is trying to leave, and Mama's pulling her back into frame, back into the perfect Afton family. And looking at these lines in the picture, Mama Afton is connected to William. Does this mean that she herself never got to escape? That she'll never be able to separate herself from him? Oh, look at those babies. Little sweet babies. And the hot dog that gets thrown at Freddy. This is the picture for me that tells us that Vanessa is probably older than Michael. She's quite a bit taller, and it looks like she's about to hit that preteen age that we see her when Charlotte dies. We can also take note of the colors that these two are wearing, red and blue. Now, I know we are not all artists, so let me explain something very complicated in art theory. So if you mix red and you mix blue, that's right, you get purple. They are both parts of William. And also, Michael's been rocking that same hair part his entire life. Vanessa, on the other hand, has her hair in little braided loops. They almost look like bunny ears. Or we're supposed to think that she looks like the American Girl doll, Kirsten, which would lead us to believe that the Aftons are Swedish instead of British. And they do live in the Scandinavia of the Midwest. Also, they look like they're in a tent, supplemented with a classic campfire hot dog. Seems to me that the Aftons like camping. Oh, the midnight motorist car. The car that swept away Garrett. And the car that hit David. Once again, we see our Mama Afton in the front seat of the car. Her hair is turned away to look at her children instead of the camera. This is important to note. Vanessa and Michael are both kind of wearing half smiles. On the one hand, this is just how kids smile. On the other hand, they don't look excited to be going in this car. And we see that they have their bags packed. What are bags packed for? Camping. Alright, once again, we are seeing our little red and blue babies inside of the car. I take back what I said earlier about the smiles. They look far more genuine in this frame, which is horrifying because this is where children get shoved after William hits them with a shovel before he kills them. At least that's what he does in the games.
I'll just wait for him after school, throw a bag over his head, hit him with a shovel, and drag him into the back of my car.
Garrett gets to ride in the back seat, which is definitely more of what this image evokes for me. And we already concluded that it's likely that this family is setting out for the Afton family camping trip. And who else goes camping? The Schmidt family. I think that this is the trip in which William kidnaps and kills Garrett. And that is wild to take your children to your murder spree. But also, that's what happens in the beginning of the movie. So, if nothing else, William has a great work life balance. In the back of the car, they are both shown to be one of William's victims. He didn't kill them, at least not yet, and we're not going to get into Ennard or Circus Baby. That is a different beast. But he is their abuser. He destroyed their lives. End of story. Not the end of the story. The story keeps going.
I do remember a man who would bring his son to the bakery every Wednesday and then go feed the ducks. He would buy all of the sourdough bread. Of course, you're not supposed to feed the ducks sourdough bread at all. It swells up in their stomach and then they all die. I never saw any ducks die myself, but I did notice a substantial decrease in the duck population over the course of a few years. If you want to feed ducks, or birds, or any kind for that matter, it's best to buy seed.
I have no words. So Michael Afton is a Cub Scout. Troop 125. This is an instance where they are both wearing blue, while Michael, in his uniform, he still has traces of red. And they're both feeding birds, and they both have the best of intentions. Again, this circles us right back to what these two knew and what their involvement level was with the dead children. They didn't pick out what to feed those birds. They were either given the seeds or the bread. Neither of them would have an understanding of a bird's digestive system. Michael doesn't know that the sourdough his father brought is killing the ducks. But it is. And this is insane foreshadowing. Michael is following his father's lead, and in the end, he's ready to kill for his father.
Half of this town will be dead by morning.
Where Vanessa is given seeds, she's making the birds healthier. We can see that these two conures could be Abby and Mike, and she's saving them from William. The curtains are blue, okay? And so are their shirts. We have another picture of Cubby Michael taken the same day at that same pond. Sadly, Mr. Hippo can't help us out for this one. But we're still seeing Michael in that blue touched with red. And based on the cycling scene, William is obsessed with perfection, pushing his kids to be better, faster, smarter, sharper. And little Michael is showing off that not so proudly. It's something that takes a lot more skill than one might think. Now, I'm not going to start making bad connections just to pad out this video. I know there is a significance in those knots. I just can't prove it. I don't know enough about knots. I don't know how to look up what kind of knot he's tying. So if anyone knows anything about Cub Scout knot tying, please let me know. There is something special about the way he tied those knots. Here we have their Granite City Elementary School photos. Sorry, hold on. Bertie Rain Elementary? This must be where Charlie goes as well, because she has that same generic backdrop, and because according to Google Maps, there is only one elementary school in Granite City, Minnesota. In these pictures, we actually see their colors are swapped. We see that Michael is in the blue and black that Vanessa sports throughout the entire movie, and Vanessa is wearing a red blouse with trace amounts of blue in those flowers. Now let's reflect on Vanessa being the favorite for a little while.
Don't you know you're my favorite?
These are formal pictures. They are guaranteed to be displayed in the house. We know that the Aftons are very public figures. It's William who's on stage before the show, not Henry. It's Afton Robotics, not Fazbear Animatronics. They probably put a lot of care into how they represent themselves. I don't know about y'all, but on picture day, that was a big deal in my family. Bless Vanessa and her cute little half up, half down thing going on. My head was bent over a bathtub, my hair was being forced into a bun. In all of their pictures, we can assume that the kids are likely dressing themselves and dressing as they usually would, but here, our dad Bill is projecting what he wants others to see. He is making Vanessa into everything that Michael wants to be. And Michael is wearing Vanessa's colors because both father and son wish he were her. And to touch on it briefly, throughout the entire movie, we see Vanessa covering herself in black over the dress on her date, at spin class, the same outfit she wore to induce herself into this dream, and her winter jacket. These are all black. Black represents the hold that William Afton has on her. She doesn't wear black in any of the childhood photos. So what is Michael wearing it for? Michael is just as afraid of his father as Vanessa is. But here we see the blue over top. He is hiding it in exchange for the same love that Vanessa receives. Look, another family picture. William is towering over the family with a stern face and closed fist. And he stands behind the chair that the rest of them are huddled into. Once again, just like in that first photo, we are seeing a lot of physical distance between him and Mrs. Afton. Speaking of, she once again is turned away from the camera. This time she's looking at Michael. She keeps one arm wrapped around Vanessa and the other on Michael's shoulder. Or she's potentially fixing his shirt. She is involved in loving on these two. Look how Michael smiles at her touch, and Vanessa is staring very directly into the camera and she does not look thrilled. I'm guessing about the presence of her father behind her. Thanks to these pictures, I'm going to very gently scratch out the existence of Crying Child in the movie's canon. If there's any time to hint towards him, it would be in these pictures. I think that this picture was taken before the murders happened, and I say this because we see the entire family wearing blue. Mrs. Afton is covering her blue with a brown cardigan to be all matchy-matchy with her husband's pants. Vanessa's wearing a blue flannel, and Michael's wearing a blue stripy shirt. William is also covering his blue, but he is drenched in black. He is stewing. I know I said that I don't know that Crying Child exists. Exciting incident to him becoming Purple Guy was? I think it has happened at this point. His fearful force is ready to start swinging. But for now, the rest of the family is free. I would also like to point out that this is the most that William and Michael have looked like each other. The casting for Michael was dead on in this film. I love him with my whole heart. That is the Michael from Sister Location. It is perfect. But if I ever hear him say,
They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you.
but they do look similar in this picture. They're both standing up with closed fists. It's a softer version of that formal photo that we saw at the top of the video. Here we are treated to yet another picture of not Mrs. Afton's face. But seriously, this picture is one that truly just shatters my heart. This is such a normal, goofy picture. It's the kind you find in your baby book, and when you ask what's happening, no one can stop laughing long enough to tell you the story behind it. We see one of the Afton kids here. I would be nitpicky and point out that that baby's eyes are brown and thus it can't really be either of them, but this would not be the first time an Afton's physical characteristics have changed. In the background, we see a spaghetti-stained Mrs. Afton with a pot on her head and hands up pretending to be a monster. It breaks my heart to imagine this scene playing out. William and Mrs. Afton playing with their children, being goofy, and taking a moment to get this candid picture so they can remember this moment. You can't do this to me, man. All right, let's talk about the lack of Mrs. Afton's face. We're going to have to zoom out a moment and remember that this is all a dream that Vanessa is having. This is a collection of her memories and interpretations of her family. There could be two interpretations here. One, Mrs. Afton left the family pretty soon after these pictures stop. There are no photos of them any older than this. Her departure is the moment that Vanessa stops recognizing her family. How she left them is also a tricky question. It could have been that she divorced William, because who wouldn't? Don't answer that question, you freaks. I don't really think this is likely, though. Vanessa remembers the moments with her mom where she's always looking at her and Michael. Her hands are around them when William is barely in frame. And again, in that first picture, push or pull, it's because she's doing something to show she loves Vanessa. That only leads us with death, which sadly fits for FNAF and the Aftons. I doubt she's the reason for William's snap, because if it was her, he probably wouldn't be killing kids. He'd be going after Edwin. But her death sure wouldn't help whatever the situation is. Unless he killed her, which I also find unlikely. Opinions on Will Care aside, from what we can tell, William never intentionally killed Cece or Elizabeth. He was careless with their lives, but he didn't want it to happen. Even Game Michael and Movie Vanessa, both of whom he tries to kill, he's hesitant and seemingly shocked by that choice.
That was easier than I thought it would be.
It's like he didn't really consider that he would have it in him. I don't know. I can see the pitchforks and the torches outside, so number 2! Mrs. Afton was caring but distant. Those little touches and looks would have been all the kids had. Little moments to remember her fondly, but undeniably, those were the only ones. William is very clear in every photo that he's in. He is domineering and terrifying as he looms over them. There is no room for interpretation in Vanessa's mind. But her mother floats away. She wasn't all there. I personally lean towards option 1, but who knows? Let me know what you think. Haha, I did the YouTuber thing. From this point forward, we're done with pictures of Michael. And this video isn't close to being over. Vanessa was the favorite.
Don't you know you're my favorite?
If that wasn't clear. And no, I did not put this picture in wrong. It's hanging upside down like that in the hallway. Here we have little Vanessa in her little ballerina leotard. Just like Michael, Vanessa is an activity that's known for focusing on discipline and perfection. Even more than Cub Scouts, ballet is about performance. William is forcing her to be a performer just like him. How do I know that William is forcing her to do this? Class, what color is she wearing? It's not pink and it's not blue. But why is it upside down? I'm wondering if Vanessa is unsure how she feels about this memory. It's a very genuine smile. We can see that they make great use of facial expressions in all of the photos. And here she's got this big grin on her face. In the moment, maybe she loved dancing. But looking back, she can't separate those memories from the memories of her father's control. His influence destroyed any happiness this memory brings her. It flipped it on its head. I brought this picture up to a friend of mine, and we kind of looked at it together and talked about the activities that the Afton kids were doing. And she pointed out to me that these are very, very 1950s nuclear family. Like, this is prototypical Americana right here. Remember back at the first picture, how it was very formal? I think that William really likes putting up the front of the perfect family. He is a family man. His children are perfect. His daughter does ballet. His son is a Cub Scout. His wife is present. Wait a minute, she's doing ballet. All right, let's take a look at the background of this picture. We are not at Freddy's. This looks to me like some sort of warehouse. We know in the games that William frequently takes his kids to Fredbear's with him. This leads me to believe that he liked involving Vanessa in the construction of Freddy's. He may have even let her pick out an arcade game or two. Also, I'm kind of curious if this picture was one they took on the set of the movie, like in one of the warehouses. I think that'd be cool. Now I know what you're thinking. She didn't bring up the color blue. You're right, because there is no blue. You know what color there is? Yellow. You know who else is yellow? The yellow rabbit. Oh, hey, Vanessa has her blue on again. But this time it's covered in white. Interesting. Vanessa loves Freddy. It is freaky in the first film how much she seems to love Freddy's. Despite how awful her father is, she has fond memories here. It's like she somehow can't separate the two. That, or she can just distract herself from it. It calls to mind how in the game's crying child hates being at Fredbear's, and he's tormented by his older brother wearing the Foxy mask, but he still considers the band to be his friends. And here's another picture of that favorite child living it up at Freddy's. The coloring is off, but to me, that looks like the same yellow sweatshirt. Also, Fazbear is selling Canadian bacon pizza with no pineapple. Let's all set our differences aside and agree that that is a strange choice to separate the two. You know who else is without their vessel sharing buddy in these movies? Golden Freddy! Another picture in yellow with another big old smile, and she's drawn the yellow rabbit in the sand with a stick, just like someone else we know. You're not stretching connections, you're stretching connections, you little toe counters. This is the exact same way that movie Cassidy, yes, Cassidy, put your pitchforks down, there is no gator here. This is exactly how movie Cassidy draws the yellow rabbit. Just like those children, Vanessa truly believed that Spring Bonnie was a friend of hers, one that brings her gifts and plays with her at Freddy's. And again, it really makes me wonder, when did she realize what was going on? Did William tell her, or did she have to figure it out for herself? Also, I do just want to mention that other than the yellow rabbit, yellow is meant to be a really friendly and exciting and happy color, so I said it, I had to say it. Blue is good, red is evil. They both make purple. She's wearing yellow because she's happy. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, clearly Vanessa has a favorite animal, but this is a white rabbit. All right, I hear your boos or your cheers. I actually can't hear anything. You're not real. We're gonna do a little bit more color theory. Bear with me. It's important. It's so important. We assume her memories of the yellow rabbit are happy ones. It makes sense that she wants to dress up like him for Halloween. But the thing is, she isn't dressed up like him. I can excuse all the other colors as me reading too far into it. Breakdown aside, but white is intentional. This is the only one I will not compromise on. The white is intentional. It symbolizes innocence and purity. They could have made her yellow like Spring Bonnie, but that would have made her look like him. And Vanessa is not like him. I know they're driving the point home that Vanessa is the favorite child, and thus we're getting really sparing amounts of Michael pictures, but I would have loved to see a picture of him in a costume. What do you guys think he would be? Would he be a bunny like Vanny here, or would we have seen him as Fredbear? And would he be in white as well? I think if we got to see his colors, it could have given us a huge hint towards his involvement with William's villainy. All right, time to take a break from the kids and talk about what I know you have all been waiting for. It's Henry and William. Look at those two together in their workshop. I cannot stress enough how perfect the casting for the entire movie is. But look at these two. This is exactly how I imagine them. And I am so excited that they redid this picture once again. Twice in the graphic novels and Into the Pit. Ah! You know? It also shows their unique approach to the characters. William isn't showing off his creepy Afton smile that we know from the book art and the games. But this one fits Lillard's performance so well. He takes Fazbear very seriously, versus Henry, who's having the time of his life. This also calls forth the line,
So blinded by ambition that even with the best of intentions, you don't see the devil sitting right beside you.
and you can see why Henry didn't see through William, because he's just so happy to be there with his friend. Also, the shirt is purple. You thought I wasn't gonna mention their clothes. And Henry's in his plaid button up. I can forgive exchanging the overalls for the apron. It's fine. I'm just happy he's here. The Aftons also have a collection of old-timey photos hanging up around their house. We talked about earlier that William is very much trying to portray that perfect family. So he's someone who's very proud to be hanging his lineage up on the wall. The Aftons being the Aftons is the Afton brand. Michael talks about the importance of legacy when he's trying to convince Vanessa to come home with him. William puts a lot of importance into appearance. We've discussed this. And I was curious about this picture specifically. Because I could have sworn that I had seen it before. And now we're going to go on a quick tangent about how much I hate AI. Edwin, this is all your fault. Google has this cool feature where you can backwards search an image. It's a great feature. It helps me find stuff for other projects. It has helped me identify plants, but this picture, Google AI showed its true colors. I put this in the little search engine. I said, find this for me. And you know what they called them? They said, hey, this is the Lincoln family. No, this is the Alcades. This is Tchaikovsky. It also called this General Grant's family, like Civil War Grant. None of those are right. This is a generic Getty image stock photo of a random family. AI is dumb, and I wasted a water bottle against my will. Bring back original back image searching, please. But anyways, about that random family, apparently they're German, so I guess this disproves my theory that the Aftons might be Swedish. But also ask any Scandinavian if they are also German, and they will tell you yes. They should be British, though. I grouped this one with the old-timey photos because it's in black and white, but getting another look at it, I think this might be a picture of William and one of his babies. I did a backward search on this one like I did for all the older pictures, and there were quite a few similar ones of people replicating this kind of image because it's funny, but I didn't find any exact matches, other than people who have taken this screenshot and are making fun of William as they should. If they wanted to just do their funny take on this, they could have just used a stock image. But they made this picture. We made it this far into the video without me directly addressing this, mostly because I want to keep this lighthearted. At this time, I don't want to give my opinion on whether or not I think William loved his children. It's something I'm still pondering, and if I do want to talk about it in the future, I want that to be its own well thought out video. Abuse is a really sensitive topic that is really close to my heart, and I don't want to just brush it away, and I don't want you to think that's me being callous. The reason I bring this up at all is because, love aside, abusers are not black and white. They're not evil, 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 evil all the time. Sometimes they are, but realistically, that's not how it goes. The father that torments Vanessa is the same father who plays with his kids at the beach and tosses them up in the air, pretends that they're spaghetti monsters. This picture also goes back to my thoughts I didn't really talk about earlier about William being fairly careless with the lives of his children. He doesn't want them to get hurt, but look how high he throws that baby. That being said, when you're not an evil abuser that needs to rot in hell, sending a child sky high while you're swimming is one of the simplest joys in life. I have memories of my dad throwing me like this at a lake, and it's one of my favorite memories of my nephew of throwing him around in a pool. And it's really sad that it makes me think how dark this franchise is, because this picture makes me so nostalgic and cozy, and the man in it is the evilest thing in the world. Apologies for the light straight in the middle of this lady's face. Again, these are screenshots from a vlog, and I tried to find the best angle, but remember when I said I was using Google? I found the exact picture. In this picture, when I tell you I could not understand what is happening, this picture is just labeled as Victorian, so they could be British. Anyways, this baby is just floating. They are perched so precariously on the arm of the chair. At first, we kind of thought that maybe there was a stool, but looking at the higher definition picture, I don't think there is. Anyways, the Aftons cannot be trusted with babies. But with the hand behind the baby, it almost looks like the woman is puppeting the baby. Puppeting the baby. Wait a minute. We have made it. We are on the last picture that we have available for us to look at. I wonder what is that. Okay. There's a lot going on here. There is a lot to unpack. First being those children aren't real, right? Those are dolls. This is Megan getting her revenge. This is proof that they're both robot children. I'm going to lose it. I genuinely I don't know what to say about this other than why, and that this is what happens when you mix Benadryl with Seroquel. But seriously, like this picture just I don't know what to think about it. The first instinct is to be like, "Oh, well, it's still Michael and Vanessa, but this one is so aged. Their clothes are very, very vintage. Their clothes also remind me of the puppet. So is William stealing Charlotte? Is this of the baby's not mine moment? I don't understand. Is this William? Does William have a sister? Is this Henry and William? Is this just there to throw me off? Is this here to dive me into the deep end? Am I just going to slowly lose my mind? This is editing in the future, Corvid, so this part's going to be less scripted than the rest of that was. So this video was sent to me today.
And I found this photograph of these two children and that were dressed in this outfit that, to me, when I saw them, I said, these are strikingly like the marionette. I thought, well, put these on the wall and call it William Afton's inspiration photo for creating the marionette. It's just sort of up there on the wall for you to either decide that or not. That's why it's there.
After I had just finished editing the entire video. So, points for me for recognizing a puppet when I see one. I am probably going to watch the rest of that video, and I'm not going to go back and redo all of this. I'm just doing this part. And leaving all of my ramblings in, because I think it's funny. So first things, in the FNAF movie universe, Henry didn't make the puppet. what happened is way funnier. That William saw this picture hanging up in his house and goes up to Henry and is like, Henry, I know what we must do. You see these creepy children. We need to make puppet that looks like this, and it's going to control the brand. It's going to control the like. How did? No disrespect to Henry. How did he not know the devil was sitting next to him? He seems like the devil to me. Also, this doesn't answer the question. Why does he have this picture? Who are those kids? Thank you for listening, staying tuned in, or second screening this video while you play games on your phone. It means a lot to me that you would sit here and listen to me while I talk about color theory and think way, way too deep into these things. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I cannot wait till the movie comes out on streaming. Legally, I'm going to watch it legally and pay legal money to watch this movie. I think we learned a lot today, and we all need to go give props, applause, and everything to the FNAF production crew for putting this much attention to detail into shots that we don't even get to see in the movie. And that makes me extra, extra thankful that they invited people like Daco and Baz to explore on our behalf. And I would really, really like to thank all the YouTubers who went on the tours for doing documentation that was this good that we can see these pictures like this. Anyways, I'm glad we found all that there was to find and that we got through every single frame and that there's no more important lore because otherwise, what is that?